All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Vaibhav Jyotsna Srivastava. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds a high-level meeting to review COVID-19 situation in the country. Stresses on five-fold strategy to curb the pandemic. Maharashtra government announces stringent COVID curbs, including weekend lockdown. RT-PCR test made mandatory for people entering Rajasthan. All arrangements put in place for tomorrow's assembly elections in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Puducherry, Assam and West Bengal. Railways to start 71 unreserved passenger trains from today. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov to arrive in New Delhi today on a two-day visit to India. More than 80 terrorists killed in airstrikes in Kandahar province of Afghanistan. IPL 2021 will go ahead as per schedule, says BCCI President Sourav Ganguly. And in tennis, Hubert Hurkacz of Poland clinches Miami Open title, defeating Yannick Sinner of Italy. As the number of COVID cases are on the rise again, we appeal to our listeners not to lower the guard, take all precautions, and all those above 45 years to get vaccinated without any hesitation. Stay safe and protected by following these three simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday chaired a high-level meeting to review the COVID-19 pandemic situation and vaccination program in the country. Mr. Modi mentioned that the five-fold strategy of testing, tracing, treatment, COVID-appropriate behavior and vaccination would be effective in curbing the spread of the pandemic if implemented with utmost seriousness and commitment. During the meeting, he directed for sustainable COVID-19 management and awareness of the community. The Prime Minister stressed on the need to continue Jan Bhagidari and Jan Andolan for COVID-19 management. A special campaign for COVID-appropriate behavior with emphasis on 100% mask usage, personal hygiene and sanitation at public and workplaces as well as health facilities will be organized from the 6th to 14th of this month. During the review meeting, the Prime Minister directed that central teams consisting of public health specialists and clinicians be sent to Maharashtra in view of high caseload and deaths, and likewise to Punjab and Chhattisgarh because of the disproportionate number of deaths being reported there. A detailed presentation was made which highlighted that there is an alarming rate of growth of COVID-19 cases and deaths in the country, with 10 states contributing to more than 91% of cases and deaths due to COVID. The Prime Minister also directed to continue with the mission mode approach in the states and districts reporting high cases so that the collective gains of COVID-19 management in the country in the last 15 months are not squandered. India has made a landmark achievement of administering nearly 7 crore 60 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses. Continuing with the largest vaccination drive in the world, the nation administered over 27,38,000 doses till date. The Health Ministry has said that in a short span of time, nearly 5 crore people above 45 years of age have already been administered the first shot of the COVID-19 vaccine, whereas over 8 lakh people have received the second dose of the vaccine as well. The COVID-19 recovery rate in the country witnessed a slight decline today and stood at 93.14%. In the last 24 hours, over 60,000 people were discharged after the recovery. The number of active cases in the country stands at about 6,91,000, which is around 5.54% of the total reported cases. The Health Ministry has informed that 513 COVID-related deaths were reported in the last 24 hours, taking the cumulative toll to 1,64,623.
A total of 4,033 new confirmed cases of coronavirus infection were reported in Delhi during the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to over 6,76,000. Delhi government said that over 6,51,000 people affected with coronavirus have been cured so far. In the last 24 hours, 2,677 people recovered and 21 deaths were reported in the city. The death toll so far in the national capital stood at 11,081. Presently, the total number of active cases of COVID-19 in the national capital is 13,982. Yesterday, more than 86,000 tests were conducted. The Rajasthan government has announced lockdown-like restrictions with immediate effect in view of the rising number of COVID-19 cases in the state. According to a circular issued by the Rajasthan government, RT-PCR test has been made mandatory for people entering the state and those travelling outside and then returning back. Classes from 1st to 9th will remain suspended and not more than 100 people will be allowed at weddings. Cinema halls, theatres and multiplexes will be closed with immediate effect. District magistrates can impose night curfews, but they will be required to seek the government's permission for imposing curfew before 8 p.m. or after 6 a.m. Also, restaurants will have to abide by the night curfew, but takeaway and delivery services will remain operational.
The Uttar Pradesh government has launched a unique gift scheme to promote COVID vaccination in the state. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has asked officials to make all preparations to deal with the growing number of corona infection. Our Lucknow correspondent reports that on the occasion of World Health Day on the 7th of April, the state government will conduct a lucky draw for those who have taken the vaccine. Additional Chief Secretary Health Amit Mohan Prasad said that in those districts where more than 25,000 beneficiaries have taken both the doses of vaccine will be eligible for this gift scheme. 4 gifts will be given to the beneficiaries after the lucky draw. Where more than 25,000 or more than 50,000 beneficiaries have taken both the doses of vaccines, the number of gifts will be increased to 6 and 8. The state is witnessing unprecedented surge in the number of corona patients recently. With 31 deaths, highest since October last, a record 4,164 active cases were reported across the state in last 24 hours. Gujarat stood at the second position in the nationwide vaccination drive against COVID-19. According to official sources, Gujarat has vaccinated more than 72 lakh persons, which is second highest after Maharashtra. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
Gujarat recorded 2,875 new cases of COVID-19 during the last 24 hours. At the other end, 2,024 patients have been recovered and discharged from the various hospitals. Maximum 664 new cases have been reported from Ahmedabad, while Surat recorded 545 new cases. 14 patients died yesterday, taking the total death toll due to COVID-19 up to 4,566. Gujarat has 15,135 active cases at present. Meanwhile, vaccination drive is running in full swing in the state. 2,77,888 persons have been vaccinated during the last 24 hours. With this, more than 72,72,000 persons have been vaccinated in the state till now. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
In the wake of rising COVID-19 patients, Maharashtra government has announced stricter curbs in the state from today to break the chain of coronavirus infections. From today, night curfew is imposed in the whole state from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. Section 144 is also imposed in daytime, and more than 5 people are not allowed to gather. On the weekend, no one is allowed in public places without any valid reasons. All these curbs will remain in place till the 30th of April. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
All private offices have to adopt to work from home, while government department, banking and financial sectors will continue to operate at 50% staff capacity. While the health department will continue to work at full capacity, visitors at all the government offices are also restricted. All the amusement park, religious places, saloons, parlors, gyms, indoor game facility will remain closed, while all political, cultural, social gatherings will remain banned. Cinema halls and theatre will also remain shut. Film and television shootings will continue, with production houses ensuring vaccination and COVID-appropriate behavior in respect of their staff. Jeevan Bhavsar, AIR News, Mumbai.
Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan will visit various places in Bhopal city today and appeal to the people to wear masks and follow COVID-appropriate behavior. The Chief Minister stressed the need of support by political parties and social organizations to put an end to corona. The COVID positivity rate in the state on Sunday increased to 11%. More from our Bhopal correspondent.
Under the public awareness campaign against Corona, the Chief Minister, Mr. Chauhan, will start in an open vehicle from Barkheda area at 6 p.m. On the way, he will constantly appeal to the public to wear masks, adhere to social distancing, and get vaccinated. Chief Minister, while interacting with media persons, has said that all efforts are being made to prevent increasing Corona infection and best treatment is provided in the state. But without the active cooperation of the people, we will not be able to defeat the Corona at the earliest. District collectors and also media units of Ministry of Information and Broadcasting in Madhya Pradesh are promoting slogans for use of face masks such as "Mask nahi to baat nahi" and "Mask nahi to saman nahi" among consumers and shopkeepers. Pooja P. Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
Odisha government will impose night curfew in 10 districts between 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. from today in view of rising COVID-19 cases. The districts where night curfew will be imposed are Sundargarh, Jharsuguda, Sambalpur, Bargarh, Bolangir, Nuapada, Kalahandi, Naurangpur, Koraput and Malkangiri. All shops, commercial establishments, offices and institutions will remain closed and movement of individuals will be prohibited between 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. except for essential activities. District collectors have been allowed to impose any further restrictions or allow such activities as felt appropriate considering the local situation. Meanwhile, the state has crossed 30 lakh mark in COVID-19 vaccination. The beneficiaries include 1,67,000 senior citizens and people above 45 years of age who were vaccinated during the last 24 hours. More from our Bhubaneswar correspondent.
Out of the total vaccine doses delivered so far, senior citizens account for the lion's share, with 16,60,000 of them having been inoculated till date. People above 45 years of age, totaling up to 6,83,000, have also received their vaccine jabs. Meanwhile, the state witnessed COVID-19 infections spiking to 471 yesterday, taking the active case load of the state further upwards to 3,085. However, even as the virus tries to escalate further, the state government too has been accelerating vaccination by delivering the last 10 lakh doses of vaccines in just 8 days, as against the first 10 lakh doses that were administered to the beneficiaries in as many as 45 days. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
Home Minister Amit Shah held a high-level meeting in New Delhi yesterday with the senior officials to review the security situation in the wake of the Naxal attack in Chhattisgarh. Union Home Secretary Ajay Bhalla, Director Intelligence Bureau Arvind Kumar and senior CRPF officers were among those who attended the meeting. Mr. Shah paid his tributes to the martyr Jawans. He assured the martyrs' families and the country that the sacrifices made by the Jawans for the country will not go in vain.
हमारे जवान शहीद हुए हैं। मैं उन सभी जवानों को श्रद्धांजलि भी देता हूं और उनके परिवारजनों को और देश को इतना विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं कि जवानों ने अपना खून जो देश के लिए बहाया है वो व्यर्थ नहीं जाएगा। हमारी लड़ाई और मजबूती के साथ और मक्कमता के साथ और तीव्रता के साथ इन नक्सलियों के खिलाफ चालू रहेगी और हम इसको परिणाम तक ले जाएंगे।
Meanwhile, the number of security personnel martyred in the Maoist attack rose to 23 with the recovery of 21 more bodies from the bordering area of Sukma and Bijapur district yesterday. The ambush took place on last Saturday when a large contingent of security forces was on an anti-Maoist operation following a specific intelligence input about the presence of a large number of Maoist cadres in the area. Maoists ambushed the Jawans, leading to a fierce encounter that continued for several hours. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds a high-level meeting to review COVID-19 situation in the country, stresses on five-fold strategy to curb the pandemic. Maharashtra government announces stringent COVID curbs, including weekend lockdown. RT-PCR test made mandatory for people entering Rajasthan. All arrangements put in place for tomorrow's assembly elections in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Puducherry, Assam and West Bengal. Railways to start 71 unreserved passenger trains from today. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov to arrive in New Delhi today on a two-day visit to India. More than 80 terrorists killed in airstrikes in Kandahar province of Afghanistan. IPL 2021 will go ahead as per schedule, says BCCI President Saurav Ganguly. And in tennis, Hubert Hurkacz of Poland clinches Miami Open title, defeating Yannick Sinner of Italy. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
All arrangements have been put in place for tomorrow's assembly elections in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Puducherry, Assam and West Bengal. While single-phase polling will be held in Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Puducherry, third phase of polling will take place in West Bengal and Assam. In West Bengal, 31 assembly constituencies spread over 3 districts, Hooghly, Howrah and South 24 Parganas, will go to polls. In this phase, over 78,52,000 electorates will decide the political fortune of 205 candidates, including 13 women. More from our correspondent.
In the third phase of polling, voters will decide the electoral fortunes of 3 ministers of Mamata Banerjee government, several sitting MLAs, senior stars and other senior leaders. Electoral fortune of state ministers Dr. Nirmal Manjhi, Asima Patra, Gyasuddin and Assembly Speaker Biman Banerjee are at the stake in this phase. Senior stars Tanushree Chakravarti and Papia Adhikari trying their luck from Syampur and Uluberia Dakshin Assembly segments. Journalist turned politician Swapan Das Gupta is also in the fray from Tarkeswar Assembly seat in this phase. Dharmendra Kumar Rai, AIR News, Kolkata.
In Tamil Nadu, poll preparations are in full swing in all 234 assembly constituencies and also in the Lok Sabha constituency of Kanyakumari for the single-phase election. A report from our Chennai correspondent.
With the heat of campaigning coming to an end yesterday, expenditure committees, nodal officers and district-level control rooms have been set up all over the state. 105 expenditure-sensitive constituencies were identified and extra efforts were taken to oversee all the aspects of election expenditure monitoring. The flying squads have seized 428 crore rupees worth cash and kind without proper documents till now. 118 expenditure observers will be monitoring the expenses of candidates and political parties. Election Commission has collaborated with Uber for free rides to elderly and people with disabilities. To ensure that no one is left out, the elderly above 80 years of age can exercise their franchise from home to respective police stations and back to home up to 5 kilometers, offered with 100% discount of up to 200 rupees. The 16th Assembly election is unique with COVID regulations too. With Murthy, Joy, AIR News, Chennai.
The spirited campaign for the April 6th Assembly elections in the Union Territory of Puducherry came to a close at 7 p.m. yesterday evening. We have more from a correspondent.
As many as 10,04,507 voters will decide the electoral fortune of 324 candidates in the Assembly election tomorrow. The main contestants include former Chief Minister N. Rangasamy, former Ministers Shah Jahan, Kamalakannan, Namasivayam, Pannirselvam and Kalyana Sundaram, PCC President A.V. Subramanian and several former legislators. While no women candidates are given seat in the BJP and the AIADMK, the Congress gave ticket to sitting member Vijayaveni and NR Congress to 2 women candidates. The Nam Tamilar Katchi gave chances to 14 women and the Makkal Needhi Mayyam to 3 women. Chandramohan, AIR News, Puducherry.
As Kerala is all set to go to polls on 140 seats tomorrow, election arrangements are in full swing in the state. By-polls in Mallappuram parliamentary constituency in Kerala will also be conducted simultaneously. Our Tirunananthapuram correspondent gives us the details.
Elaborate arrangements are being done in the state for the smooth conduct of assembly polls, in which a total of 957 candidates is contesting in 140 constituencies across the state. The polling is from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. tomorrow, adhering to strict COVID protocols. In Naxal-affected areas, the polling will end at 6 p.m. Webcasting facility will be provided in most of the polling booths to prevent bogus or double voting. CCTV is arranged in areas with technical difficulty. Nearly 50,000 police officials, including central forces, are being deployed across the state. Mayusha for AIR News from Tirunelveli.
The Election Commission of India will organize International Virtual Election Visitors Program 2021 for foreign election management bodies and organizations from today during the ongoing assembly elections in Assam, Kerala, Puducherry, Tamil Nadu and West Bengal. Over 106 delegates from more than 26 countries across the world are participating in the 2-day program. They include Afghanistan, Australia, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Malaysia, Maldives, Mauritius, Mongolia, Nepal, Russia and South Africa.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the party workers from across the country on the occasion of the Foundation Day of BJP tomorrow. Mr. Modi will address the party workers through a video conference at 10:30 a.m. Party President Jagat Prakash Nadda will also deliver his address. On this occasion, various activities will be organized at all the booths by the party in the country. BJP workers will hold discussions about the policy of the party, and various welfare schemes of the Narendra Modi government will also be discussed. The Indian Railways will start the services of 71 unreserved trains from today. They include Varanasi Sultanpur, Amritsar Pathankot, Jalandhar City Pathankot, Firozpur Ludhiana, Bathinda Firozpur, Delhi Rohtak and Delhi Panipat. These trains will be run by the Northern Railways. Railway Minister Piyush Goyal has said that these trains will ensure a safe and comfortable journey for the passengers.
The Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has approved 54 projects of 829 km at a cost of 4,590 crore rupees for 2020-21. These projects include 4-lane Parli bypass, 6-lane flyover at Katraj, high-level bridges across Panvel, Mahad, Panjim, development of Sinnar-Nashik section of NH50, 2-lane bridge over Purna River. Besides, upgradation, widening and strengthening of numerous roads and highways will also be taken up. Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar has announced an increase in the salaries of sanitation workers, both in rural and urban areas in the state. He said monthly salary of sanitation workers in rural areas will go up to from 12,500 to 14,000 rupees per month, and for those in urban areas from 15,000 to 16,000 rupees. Addressing a Safai Mitra Utthan Sammelan in Karnal, Mr. Khattar said if the salary is delayed, then 500 rupees will be given with next month's salary as additional compensation.
The government has dismissed a claim circulating on social media that 100 heritage sites, including the Taj Mahal, will be given on lease by the government. The Press Information Bureau has termed the post as fake. It said no such decision has been taken by the Culture Ministry. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov will begin a 2-day visit to India beginning today. The visit will present an opportunity to discuss the aspects of bilateral ties and review preparations for the pending India-Russia annual summit later this year. The Ministry of External Affairs MEA spokesperson Arindam Bagchi had said that the visit will be a unique opportunity to discuss important aspects of our bilateral ties, also to review preparations for the next India-Russia annual summit, and also perhaps discuss regional and international issues of mutual interest. Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova had on Thursday said the Russian Foreign Minister during his visit will hold talks with External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. After India, Mr. Lavrov will visit Pakistan from April the 6th till the 7th.
In Afghanistan, nearly 82 terrorists were killed in airstrikes in the Arghandab district of southern Kandahar province yesterday. Besides the killing of 82 armed insurgents, including the Taliban's key commander Sarhadi, 2 tanks and several vehicles of the insurgents have also been destroyed. Earlier in the day, Fawad Aman, deputy spokesman for the Ministry of Defense, said that the Air Force launched airstrikes on the Taliban in the Arghandab district of Kandahar province. Taliban terrorists who are active in parts of Kandahar province are yet to make comments on the airstrike. In tennis, 26th seed Hubert Hurkacz of Poland won the biggest title of his career, beating 19-year-old Yannick Sinner of Italy in the Miami Open final last night. Hurkacz was poised playing his first final in the top-level ATP series, the Masters 1000. Sinner, playing in his third Masters 1000 tournament, wobbled serving at 6-5 in the first set and was broken at love. Hurkacz became Poland's first Masters 1000 champion.
And in badminton, defending world champion Pramod Bhagat clinched 2 gold medals as India finished their campaign in the third at Sheikh Hamdan bin Al Maktoum Dubai Para Badminton International 2021 in Dubai with 20 medals yesterday. Krishna Nagar and Prem Kumar Ali were also brilliant on the day, winning the other 2 gold medals for India in combined SH6 and the mixed doubles WH1, WH2 categories. India topped the tally with 20 medals, 4 gold, 6 silver and 10 bronze medals, ahead of France who finished with 8 medals, 4 gold, 2 silver and 2 bronze, and Malaysia with 7 medals, 3 gold, 1 silver and 3 bronze.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. Srinagar will observe thunderstorm with rain. The maximum temperature is expected to be around 17 degrees Celsius, while the minimum was 8 degrees. Jammu will have partly cloudy sky, becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The temperature will rise up to nearly 30 degrees Celsius from a minimum of 16 degrees. Leh may have maximum temperature of 7 degrees Celsius amid light snow. The minimum was -5 degrees. Gilgit is expected to have 18 degrees Celsius as an upper limit of temperature. Amid generally cloudy sky with light rain, it recorded a minimum of 5 degrees. Muzaffarabad will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will rise from a minimum of 10 degrees Celsius to an upper of 27 degrees. In Dehradun, the maximum temperature will be around 34 degrees, moving from a minimum of 12 degrees. Chandigarh will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. As the temperature goes up to 37 degrees Celsius, it recorded 20 degrees as a minimum. The national capital Delhi is likely to have partly cloudy sky with a maximum temperature of 37 degrees Celsius. It recorded a minimum of 19 degrees. Mumbai, with a mainly clear sky, is expected to witness a maximum temperature of 35 degrees Celsius, while it registered a minimum of 24 degrees. Chennai will have partly cloudy sky. In Chennai, the maximum temperature is expected to be around 39 degrees Celsius, while the minimum was 28 degrees. And in Kolkata, it will have partly cloudy sky.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. As India records this year's biggest single-day jump in COVID cases, The Statesman reports alarming spurt, Modi reviews COVID control. The Times of India adds Maharashtra shuts eateries, malls, curbs travel. A headline in The Hindu reports, amid virus surge, Russian vaccine may get the nod for emergency use in the country within 10 days. Most of the dailies have also covered the news of Maoists attacking a joint team of security forces in Chhattisgarh. The Asian Age headline says, 22 Jawans killed, 1 missing after forces walk into Maoist ambush. A front-page inbox picture in Hindustan Times shows a fire raging through a forest area in Uttarakhand's Pauri. The hill state is witnessing 45 blazing clusters of woodlands, triggering an alarm in the state. Another batch of Rafale jets to fly in by mid-May, completing the first squadron of the fighters in the Indian Air Force, writes The Hindu. The Economic Times cites startups and end financial year 21 on a high note as fund flows top in Q4. And finally, the Indian Express reports an encouraging story of Khalsang Dorje under the headline, Teacher, Manager, Mountaineer. Now, first cricketer from Ladakh in J&K team.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds high-level meeting to review COVID-19 situation in the country, stresses on 5-fold strategy to curb the pandemic. Maharashtra government announces stringent COVID curbs, including weekend lockdown. RT-PCR test made mandatory for people entering Rajasthan. All arrangements put in place for tomorrow's assembly elections in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Puducherry, Assam and West Bengal. Railways to start 71 unreserved passenger trains from today. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov to arrive in New Delhi today on a 2-day visit to India. More than 80 terrorists killed in airstrikes in Kandahar province of Afghanistan. IPL 2021 will go ahead as per schedule, says BCCI President Saurav Ganguly. And in tennis, Hubert Hurkacz of Poland clinches Miami Open title, defeating Yannick Sinner of Italy. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.